Hi, welcome to this week's Mortgage Moment. I'm Mike Seeley, your loan genie of Demystifying the Loan Process. This week, we're going to talk about the two basic types of loans. Believe it or not, all the thousands of loans that are out there are made up of simply two types of loans. That's the fixed rate and the adjustable rate, or any number of morphs of those two loan types. Now let's begin. Remember we talked about last week about different terms on your loan, whether you should have a 30-year fixed, a 3-year, a 5-year, or a 10-year, and the advantages of each one of those. Now, some of those were made up of fixed rate loans, some were adjustable rates, and some were a combination. So let's take a look at that right now. Now, if you look on the bottom down here, you'll see we have a graph here that's marked down in 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. This is time on the bottom. On the left side here, we have dollars or rate or payment. What is it going to cost us for that? So let's take a look here. First of all, what is a fixed rate? Well, it's pretty simple. It's like it says. It is fixed. It doesn't change. That rate will stay the same for the term of the loan. Now let's take a look. A 30-year fixed rate will have a rate up here. Suppose we made that loan only a 10-year fixed rate. What would happen? It would move down the rate table and be a little cheaper. Okay? And the same if it moved into a 5-year rate. It would be just a little bit cheaper. And again, if it moved back towards it's only a 3-year fixed rate, it would be a little bit cheaper. And that again makes sense based on the concept of the time value of money. Now, how does an adjustable rate mortgage work? For a moment, let's take away the bottom of the graph, the years portion. There we go. That's the advantage of being the loan genie. Let's add in one of the two components of an adjustable rate. First of all, the index. As you see, the index is some changing or fluctuating number, or index as we call it, some financial computation. For example, Treasury bills. What are they averaging out? Or LIBOR, the London Bank. What are they averaging out? Or monthly treasuries, the MTA. Or coffee, the cost of funds index. And if you go look up indexes in Google, you'll see there are quite a few monetary indexes that people follow and can attach a loan to. Now, why do we have an index, or why do we have an adjustable rate? We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, on top of the index, we have another component. Now, the final component of the adjustable rate mortgage is the margin. And that's what you add onto the index to get your final rate. That looks a little bit like this. So as you can see, those are the two components that make up the total rate. Here you see the ARM rate. And as you can see, it's a bit below the fixed rate. That's almost always the case, and that was the purpose of adjustable rates. They came out, back in the late 60s, early 70s. One of the purposes was for a lot of homeowners or first-time homeowners to be able to qualify for loans. Now, how is that? Well, as you can see, the rate is lower. That means your qualification will be slightly easier. And we'll get into DTIs, not DTS, DTIs, debt-to-income ratios in another show. But that will help you to qualify for your first home or even later homes. Another reason was that investors wanted to tie their investment into some index. You see, many investors aren't interested in investing in mortgages, but they are interested in investing into the Treasury bills. So some clever people came along and asked investors, why not invest in the safety of mortgages with the fluctuation of the Treasury bill, which you believe in? So they would use an index like the Treasury bill, or they would invest in whatever index they believed in. Coffee, cost of funds index, London Bank, any number of index. That gave them their security or their perceived security of investing in the type of vehicle they wanted to, and yet still be providing mortgages for the market. Now, let's look at something that happens every period for an adjustable rate mortgage. And what is that? Yeah, you're right. It can change. Now, when you're selecting an adjustable rate mortgage, what do you select? You select a number of things. But two of the basic things you select are, one, the index, the one that you believe is going to stay lowest generally, or over a period of time, and the margin. Again, the margin is added to the index to get your final ARM rate. Now, each period, that can change. And what changes? Well, you've selected a margin that will stay the same. That could be, say, 2%, 1.5, 3.5, any number of margins that will add on. And we'll show you the benefits and disadvantages of each of those later on. And we show you the advantages and disadvantages of selecting different margins and the gotchas to look out for in demystifying the loan process. Let's get back to this. With the margin staying the same and the index changing, what can happen in the next period? And again, the next period could be next month, could be in the next 6 months, it could be in a year from now. The period that your rate changes is a very important factor. So know that. That's why I removed down here those ranges. This could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or it could be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24, and 30 months. Or it could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Whatever your periodic change time is a very important feature to know and to understand. So let's say next month the index goes up. Here's what happened. Okay, with the poof of my magic lamp, I've added a second period. I want you to see down here, we're talking again here timetables, or the periodic rate change timetable. Here is period 1. Again, could be 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Whenever that change is that you selected, that's when this will happen. So first period is here, second period is here, and you see here everything's the same. That's not quite what really happens, though. Remember, we said the margin stays the same, but not necessarily the index, because your index is a fluctuating index. Here's what could happen. And again, thanks to the magic of the loan genie, what you see here is the margin's the same, but the index increased for that period, which could make it the same rate as your fixed rate loan. Now, what could happen the next month? It could increase again. Your index could go up again. And this could be, the third month, the third 6 months, the 18th month, or the third year, whatever that period is. And there's other periodic time changes too. So here you can see the total ARM rate has exceeded the fixed rate. That's what many people fear in the adjustable rate. That doesn't happen that quickly, but it can. It is capable of doing. Now, let's take a look at another possibility. The index can go down. There's nothing stopping it. So your total rate here could be even less than what you started out as, your original adjustable rate loan. So here, again, is the possibilities of an adjustable rate. It can go up, it can go down. Now, next time, we're going to talk about how far it can go up and how far it can go down, and the kind of what we call caps you want to look for and the ones that are important to you. Again, thanks for stopping by and watching this week's Mortgage Moment. Again, I'm Mike Seeley of Demystifying the Loan Process. And if you got questions about this, go to askyourloanquestion.com and ask any question you've got about adjustable rates or anything about mortgage loans. Look forward to seeing you next week on the Mortgage Moment.